Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Manhattan Jewish Experience. I'm Rabbi Jack. I'm here with my friends David, Moriah, and Jared, and a lot of spiritual souls are in the room. Though they're not here in embodied form. It's okay, because tonight we're dealing with. Honestly, it's a very underrated topic that you're kind of expected in life to just know what to do. It's very interesting. You know, a lot of big topics they don't cover in school, right? They don't cover in school, how to pay taxes. They don't cover in school how to look for an apartment. They don't cover in school how to date, right? How to be married, how to raise children, how to decide on what school to send your children, right? Like these are the most important things, and yet schools kind of, leave it up to the family, maybe, parents, siblings, cousins.
In a way, an extension, they do teach responsibility.
Okay.
To be, liable to work, homework.
So that's important,
right?
And that's good. We can't not give credit where credit is due. The topic I wanted to talk about tonight is being a support for somebody that's going through a rough time. Right? And how to be there for somebody that's going through a rough time. Let's say I come to you, and I disclose to you that I had a terrible day, an awful day. I don't know. My students threw paper airplanes at me. I missed the bus. I got fired. Right? I got fired or I got a terrible report from my boss. And I'm coming back after a long day. It was really hard. And I come to you. And I tell you about my day. How do you react? How do you respond? What do you say?
We're saying that we understand. You can't just show. No, you need to do it like different. Don't say anything. Just show that you understand what you like.
So Maria's approach, Shitat Moriah, is don't say anything.
No, you can say something, but not immediately. You need to wait.
Okay, wait.
To show that you need to listen exactly, and then to show that you understand. But after everything, you can say something about you should do it different. I don't know.
Okay, so first it's showing the person that is coming to you that you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening. And then once you've sufficiently shown that, then you're saying now you can offer
After
what?
everything, yeah.
What are you offering after
Like,
that?
I don't know, to give some advice for the next time. Or
Give advice.
Oh, yes, but not immediately. Because it's annoying when somebody try to give you advice when you mad about whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long do you wait before giving advice?
I need to see what is their react. If the advice is necessary.
Okay. So you need to read the situation.
Yes.
Read
Exactly.
them, what they're feeling. Are they ready for it? Yeah, David, what do you want to say?
So truly what I like to do when someone is quote unquote ranting to me about their bad day, first I'm going to listen, then I'm going to ask them straightforward, do you want me to give you advice or do you want me to just listen? Right. I think that's the best approach.
Wow.
That approach works very well for me. Do you want advice or do you want a shoulder to cry on?
Wow.
Because I can do either one, whatever makes you feel better.
And how do they usually respond to that?
Sometimes people say, look, I just want to talk. And other times people they say, I would love to hear what you think. It depends on their mood.
Interesting.
Depends
So
on the
people
person as
meaning
well.
they'll answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say,
Yeah.
you're saying people generally know
Mm-hmm.
what they need from you.
And you can do it in an empathetic way, like, you know, like, look, I'm here for whatever you need. I'm very sorry this happened to you. And, you know, you ask, what do you want from this interaction? Very in a kind, soft, but straightforward manner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just wondering, what if the person doesn't know what they want?
You could try a multiplicity of approaches, one after the other. But kind of like dipping your foot in multiple different swimming pools in order to get a sense of which approach would be the most ideal.
Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, so there are some people who, when they complain about things or want to talk about something that bad that happened in their life, that are either solution oriented or ultimately they want to get the emotion out or be distracted. And usually, especially with people you do not know.
So that's a good point you're raising. There's a third possibility of distracting them.
Very
Of just
true.
talking about something totally different.
That's very true.
Interesting.
And so between that, you often need to play detective. Often an act of teaching is no doubt, you know, rabbis, that you have to determine what sort of personality type someone is. And then you need to cater your learning style to that person. And this is at the heart of a lot of rabbinic teaching. And in this respect, you need to be able to talk to someone about the facts of the case, but also therewith try to determine a personality type. Do they seem someone who likes to focus on solutions, you know, a Baal Tachlis, as it were? Is this someone who wants to primarily focus on emotional outage, or perhaps just simply someone who wants to discuss something more pleasant?
Nice. So I want to ask you, Jared, right? In the moment, someone's dumping a whole load on you, disclosing very hard things to you. Is all this running through your mind in that moment?
On a subconscious level.
On a subconscious level.
Honestly, for me, all I want to do, I want to give advice. I want to help the person, right? That's
right.
what I want to do. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
not welcome, right?
I don't think you're alone in that. I think our initial reaction usually is we wanna help,
We didn't know.
but it's important also to know, and this is something to consider, is why do we want to help them?
Good question.
What's our motive in wanting to
For me,
solve
it's
this?
empathy for me.
So hopefully, right? Hopefully you get to a level where you want to help them for them because you want them to be okay. But I found from experience and from dealing with different people also that it's uncomfortable for the person that they're coming to.
Sometimes
Right.
it can be.
I don't like this. This is unpleasant,
It's
right?
always unpleasant.
What do you mean?
And I want
I don't like it.
again, this is more you wouldn't necessarily think this because it sounds almost selfish and mean, but I've found that this is true, that I don't like the unpleasantness of this, so I want to be done with this as soon as possible. I want to figure out a way to end this unpleasantness.
It also depends on the type of person, right? Because if it's a person who's coming to you 24/7 all the time with problems all the time, you might want to avoid that person because they're constantly so
Okay.
negative, and they put you in a negative state as well. And when you have another person who's like a very put together, you know, like decent, generally happy, normal guy who comes to you with one issue, you're probably more inclined to take them seriously when someone's generally balanced and comes to you with an issue than someone who's constantly imbalanced
Right.
and always has an issue.
You're saying it's contextual
Yes.
also.
Mhm.
Right. Meaning there is good reason to be annoyed when the same person is coming to you over and over and over again with the same issues or different issues,
Mhm.
and you just don't want to.
It sometimes becomes overwhelming
Deal
because
with
people
it.
have issues of their own, right?
Right.
You know, everyone has issues of their own.
Sure. I want to share one teaching of Chazal with you about what they say about this. Maybe we could. It'll lead down some interesting pathways in conversation. It's also it's not a new idea that we haven't said before, but just thinking about the way that Chazal put it, the sages put it in Pirkei Avos. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer. You know this one?
There's a lot of Rabbi Shimon ben
Yeah, that's
Elazar.
You're nodding your head. Yeah, I know this. Al tiratzeh es chavercha bishas kaso. Right? Which means do not try to appease your friend, your fellow, at the time of their anger. Okay? Al tiratzeh chavercha bishas kaso.
That is like to give advices, or what is that?
Tiratzeh ritzui is to find favor for them, to appease them, to make them feel good. Don't try to make somebody
So
that is angry, don't try to make them feel good. Interesting, right?
It's very interesting.
Ve'al tenachamenu b'sha'a shemeto mutal ufanav. Don't try to comfort somebody at the moment that, literally the way that Chazal put it, Rabbi Shimon puts it, at the moment that their dead loved one is right in front of them, do not try to comfort them.
You don't try to comfort them with words or by giving them a hug and kissing them on the cheek and rubbing their shoulder. You know what's.
All it says, Ve'al tenachamenu, do not comfort.
Okay, I want to know what that means. It's very interesting.
Ve'al tish'alo bishas nidro. Right? Do not question this person at the time that they're making a neder. Okay? It's also included in this Mishnah. Everyone knows what a neder is?
It's a oath.
promise?
Neder is to make a vow.
Yeah.
Right? I vow I am never going to touch a sip of alcohol again. Bli neder, right? That was an example. I was not making a neder, right? Ve'al tish'alo. Do not ask. Don't ask about it. Don't ask about it. Right? Ve'al tishtadel lir'oso bish'as kilkalto. And do not try, this is interesting why it's put here. These three, right? So number one is don't try to make someone feel good that's very angry. Don't try to comfort somebody that just experienced a tragic loss. Don't ask about somebody's neder the second that they made a neder. Don't try, very interesting, don't try to see a person at the time that they're being disgraced. Okay? Well, I want us to think about this for a second. About what is Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar teaching us? What do all of these cases have in common?
Emotions are supposed to be savored. And as you noted earlier, Rabbi, it is very tempting to try to get the bad emotion away or to say the logical thing if you're not caught up in the moment. But the thing is that Chazal teaches these things precisely to remind us that these emotions should be given space, and you are therefore not to interfere with them.
So these are all very powerful emotions the person is experiencing, and you're saying it's not meant to be like amputated. It's not meant to be cut off short.
Well, it is very important to, in a natural manner, write out an emotion and allow it to do whatever it does to your thoughts and then come to a conclusion. Especially when you try to hide from negative emotions, all it does is it pushes it. It's putting the lid over a pot, and then it'll boil over eventually.
Meaning the water's gonna boil whether you put that pot there or not.
So it's better that you don't put the lid on so it doesn't boil over. And I understand.
Can I ask you? I think that is a common thread here. Just the last two cases, how does that fit into, right? Don't try to cut off short in emotions. So first of all, right, don't ask about somebody's neder at the moment that they make it. How would you fit that in?
Because devoting yourself to a goal is a very emotional affair. From this day forward, when you hear those words, don't you feel a little bit, determined? And in a sense, that ties into the same variety of emotion as well.
Nice.
And often when people make goals, as I think people will find out on January 1st, coming around the bend sooner than we know, is that often a lot of people, they invest themselves into very unrealistic goals that they might actually choose to abandon after a few weeks.
Right.
Rabbi Ezra gave a talk about this earlier this year.
So January 1st is the best day in the gym business.
Right.
January 1st,
Right.
January 2nd, millions of people sign up for gym memberships that they never end up using.
I know what that's like. Sign up for a gym membership that you don't use.
You're in good shape, don't you?
Val tishalo b'shat. No, I think you're absolutely right. And it's basically don't crush a person's dreams. Right? This person is resolving, I want to do better. And I'm committing to doing better. And their friend or their family member knows them. They know it's not going to last. It's another one of your shtick. So another one of your things.
You should never
No.
say that to someone who is like trying to
Right.
achieve a goal. It's
I-
always it's the killer thing to hear.
It's
When
a
you
killer.
think-
It's a killer.
That's why I never tell anyone what I'm about to do. I
Mm,
just do it.
okay.
You know,
So that's another
I
statement
don't
of
want
Chazal.
everyone's opinions.
And more ma'at v'aseh harbe. Say
Mhm.
little, do a lot.
Yes, that's actually right.
I heard a great line from a rapper, a song, NF. He said, you know NF?
And
NF.
Is he
He's a
Jewish
Christian rapper. No,
Christian
no.
rapper?
He says, actions speak louder than words. It's pretty quiet, isn't it?
Mm.
Meaning people talk a lot,
You know.
but very little action.
Also, it's talking about what you plan on doing takes away energy from doing it.
Mm.
Because you want to put more thought and more energy into doing the thing you want to do rather than talking about doing the thing that you want to do. It also can create jealousy and Ein Hara, which is another killer of dreams.
What do you mean? Ein hara kills dreams.
Well, I mean, when you tell someone you're looking to achieve a very big thing and another person is very jealous
Mm.
of having that kind
Interesting.
of drive to even achieve it, and they put out that kind of, the Torah talks in a lot of places about how bad Ein Hara could be, and jealousy, and that jealousy can actually, just being jealous can cause
Interesting.
physical things to happen,
That's true, but we also have a concept of kinas sofrim tarbe chachma, which is jealousy amongst the sages increases wisdom.
Yes, so that's the only exception, actually. Yes.
But meaning, if you see me resolving, right, I want to, I don't know, I want to come to one-on-one every single Wednesday night, right? That's my vow. I'm going to do that every single Wednesday night. So is that necessarily, maybe this is not what you meant, but is that necessarily going to make you feel bad? Like, oh, I wish I could have had that goal? Or is it going to say, oh, that seems like a good thing. Like, maybe I should do that too. Right? It could be a motivator for more, it depends on the personality. It depends on your own.
Competition breeds innovation.
Right. It's the same idea.
In terms of Torah learning, it's known to be the one exception. You're allowed to be kind of jealous. But also the jealous, it can't be a negative jealousy either.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So even a negative jealousy can have a
Negative jealousy is usher.
Right.
You can't be negatively jealous over it.
Even in the sense of someone being better at Torah than you, right? So.
You don't want to be, right? You want in your own way to know as much Torah that I can as this other person was able to accomplish.
Issue is a lot of jealousy comes from, I'd rather him not have it than him have it and me not have it.
Yeah, that's rough.
Right. So that's a lot of jealousy.
That's rough. Yeah. Wow, we're good. We're going deep in. But I just want to this last case, ve'al tishtadel lir'osa b'shas kalkala. So, what's that about? Don't try to see the person when they are in their moment of shame and disgrace. How does that relate?
Can just don't. It's like don't watch him when he's like.
Right?
What
I mean,
Like-
don't revel in someone's embarrassment, kind of, you know.
like.
Don't make jokes about someone who's publicly embarrassed. Don't.
Like if somebody walks in here with their pants ripped,
You shouldn't say
Right? and then they realize, and then they're like, oh my gosh, so they run across the room to the bathroom, and everyone's, right? And you're like, oh, like, where's he running? Right?
Yeah.
So, but how does that relate to the others?
Good question. I have it at the tip of my tongue. I'm putting it together in my head.
Well, also, I think that if you that if you jeer at shame, what you actually do is that you jeopardize the social cohesion of the group. What you find in a lot of Jewish texts is actually, at its heart, Stone Age ethics, which is primarily geared towards small groups of like 50 people. And in a sense, it's very, very egalitarian. And so the thing is you have a certain sense of a round table, and any type of shame that is jeered at, celebrated, that can actually cause significant social risk, which is also why people like helping each other on an evolutionary level. You jeopardize that, you jeopardize the entire possibility of a community to survive.
I disagree with Stone Age ethics. I also disagree with the group of 50, because I mean Judaism started with over 1 million people.
Well, that's correct, but also you do have a lot of the like the oral traditions of desert nomads still present in a lot of this, and you can actually find this
It comes
in,
from God. It doesn't come from desert nomads.
what did you say?
It comes from God. It doesn't come from desert nomads.
Well, in a sense, I think that God speaks in the language that humans understand,
True. It doesn't mean
and
it
this
comes
is
from
the
desert
discussion we
nomads.
had in the other room.
Oh yeah, that was the topic tonight.
It was beyond excellent.
Right. I love to hear about it. But again, coming back here, why is this here? So I think, let me know what you think of this. That, meaning, essentially that part about, right, don't ask about the neder when the person makes it, is essentially coming from the place, like we said, don't be a dream crusher, right? Don't kill this person's attempt to be better, right? Even though you know they're not going to be able to do it. So maybe that's where the next case comes in. And when they ultimately fail, like you knew they would, don't go over to them and say, you see, I told you so. I knew this would happen. I think that might be the shot why that's here.
That's a very terrible thing to do.
It's a terrible thing to do, but it's there's a Yetzer Hara to do it.
Well, maybe between two very, very, very close friends, it could actually be a good thing to do, in a way.
What do you mean?
If
Why?
you're doing it for good intentions, between two very, very close friends, you have two guys who hang out all day, every day, and they've known each other for their whole lives since they were babies. They were crawling around on all fours together. All right. If one guy is saying that to the other guy to kind of like push him to do better, like, hey, come on, man, I told you weren't going to commit to this, but I really think you should. But I mean, I told you weren't going to commit to this for this and this reason, and it turns out it's true. And on top, then you use that and you flip it to give advice on how they should, get back on the wagon, right? So I think it's more.
Okay.
I think this can more apply between strangers or acquaintances more than very, very close friends. What do you?
No, I hear that. I hear that. it's just
Is it gonna
It's-
really hurt you if your best friend,
it's just such I mean, I'm sure this has happened to all of us here, right? When somebody is like, see, like, and it could have been like, I'm saying I can think of times, very close family members did
family members are not friends. It's very different. Right.
Uh-huh.
It's much easier to hate a family member than it is to hate your best
I'm
friend.
not a hate. I'm not
Right.
saying hate. It's just not, and maybe it depends on the person, but it's just not. I found it's not a good feeling when somebody says,
It's true.
meaning you got the message.
But our best friends are we here for each other to make each other feel good, or are we here to more so tell each other what we need to hear? And
Totally.
Yeah.
But my question is,
it hurts more when an acquaintance
once the shame has been brought, I think that experience itself speaks for itself.
yes.
Meaning that the lesson has been learned, and by the next person coming along and saying, "So did you learn your lesson?"
It's, you feel more shame when it comes from someone actually who you're not as close with, at least in my experience. Comes from
Okay,
someone
so I'm not
close.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But so ultimately, what are all these statements? What are they trying to get at? So Jared suggested, right? Don't cut off the emotional wave, the emotional tide, too short. What else? What else could be like a thesis binding all of these ideas?
Who said that there actually needed to be a thesis binding all of them? They could, in fact, all have different motivators behind each one. They could come in like little bundles, but I don't think there has to be a common root in all of them per se.
Okay, that's fair. Though I would posit that in Pirkei Avos, when a sage makes a statement with three statements, usually, if you think about it, right? Avos, the Maharal says this actually. If you look throughout Pirkei Avos, it's all statements of three things. Here we have four, but we just showed how 3 and 4 actually link together.
How are 3 and 4 linked together?
Right? Because we said don't, say, really? Are you really going to make that neder? And then the 4 was, okay, and once it inevitably fails, don't go and try to see the failure.
So that's both of them are kind of one.
They're kind of one. The Maharal posits, it's not my idea, the Maharal posits that in Pirkei Avos, Ein Avos Ela Shlosha, the Gemara says. There are 3 Avot. Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Right? And how the Maharal suggests that every statement is really, you'll find it's all 3s. And the first statement is corresponding to Avraham, the second is corresponding to Yitzchak, the third is corresponding to Yaakov. We're not going to show how that is playing out here.
The 3 and 4, I think, are just 2 sides of the same coin.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally.
Okay.
But I do think, and I found in other Mishnayos too, that there is usually a common thread. I think there usually is a common thread. And I think yours is a great suggestion. That these are all passionate, emotional experiences, and logic can't speak to that. Right? You can't rationalize with a 5-year-old, right? When they're screaming and kicking because you're not giving them the lollipop, for dinner, right? At that age, they can't understand what you're talking about. I want that lollipop. I want it now. What gives? But it's not for your health. It's so that you get into a routine. It's for your benefit. I want the lollipop. Thank you. Jared had a lollipop.
I have 2 actually.
One for Rabbi.
Right? And I think it gets to the core of also what it means to be human here is that as rational as we are and intelligent and We're able to think and speak very elegantly and beautifully and do amazing things. There's a part of us that is very much emotional based, that is just as much of like a baby than like when we were babies, right? It's still there. And that part of us, reason and it don't coincide together. And so when that part of us comes out, we need to treat it very gently and softly, right? He says, don't comfort somebody when they're in so much pain. I don't think it means not to be there. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. But I think going back to what Moria said in the beginning is, and you also, David, is being there, being present, listening, not doing anything else. And maybe just keep saying, if they need to hear it, you feel like they need to hear it, I'm here. I'm listening, I'm here. And maybe, hopefully, we can relieve some of that pain and that loneliness that the person might be feeling. And that's really why we're here. We say, right, Lo tov hayos ha'adam levado. God says it during the creation. It's not good for the human being to be alone. And so we spend our lives trying to bridge that gap between people to make this life and the things we go through a little less lonely.
And also, I think at the core of Pirkei Avot, and by extension, a lot of Jewish texts, and by extension, pretty much all of known human literature, is the balance between the lizard brain, which we have in common with animals here, versus the higher order reasoning brain, which we do not share with almost all of them. And at the heart of ethics, at the heart of tragedy, is what happens when these brains fight with each other.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, guys, this was a great one.
5 more minutes.
What?
5 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
I don't have anywhere to be. Do you have anywhere to be?
I heard, and somebody
Joe
told me that
Malala.
there is some Hasidus class after.
So yeah, Rabbi Wilds is going to be giving. He started a new book actually.
Tanya class.
I think he switched from Tanya to some other sefer. I'm sure it's
When-
also awesome.
It's 9:50.
It's at 9:15.
Okay, so
Wait,
still
look.
another 10 minutes.
15.
Do a little break. I'm losing my voice.
I think 15.
Your voice is great.
It's like cracking. It's like itchy.
So we all
9:15 or 9:50.
let's have a
1:05?
formal ending phrase and then we turn.
Formal ending. Guys, let's be there for each other.
Oh my.
Let's be there for each
That's
other.
very important. That's all we have. All we have is each other.
Shkoch. Thanks everybody. Thanks Moria,
Oh.
Jared.